Other students pestering you or telling you or sharing with you about refuge. If you take refuge, the benefits are definitely more. Why? Why? Because when you take a formal vow in front of the three jewels with the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha witnessing, and then you say, from now on, I will refrain from these 12 negative actions so that I may gain bodhicitta and realization. Then every single day you refrain because of that vow and your motivation, all your actions will lead towards that. Whereas if you don't take that vow, where your actions lead to is iffy and maybe. That's like saying that monks don't have to take any vows. What? They're doing fine on their own. Don't need any more monks. Then don't need any more nuns. Don't need to take any don't need to take any vows. Then we don't need any tantric initiations. Then we don't need any bodhisattva vows. Then we don't need any fasting vows. We don't need any vows at all. Throw all vows away. In fact, Buddha, disrobe yourself. Of course, there are more benefits. But the very reason that we have fear for taking refuge vows is, A, can be we don't trust a teacher. Can be. Doesn't mean you're bad or good. B, it could be you don't trust yourself. C, your attachment to money, to work, to entertainment, to fun is very strong, and it threatens your freedom. Usually people who are afraid of taking refuge feel it's a threat to their freedom and they have great fear. So that's why they say, don't push me. But the reason you have fear for that is you haven't seen the value of the Dharma in its full light. Until you see the value of the Dharma in its full light, avoiding the 12 negative actions, if it's so easy for you without refuge, then take it lah. Take it. Since it's the same what? Since it's the same, take it. Since you're so confident that you can avoid those 12, then why don't you get the extra benefit? I know I can hold my vows, that's why I took it. I know I can. I'm fully confident. I knew I could when I was a kid. I was just looking for someone to give it to me. So for you, since you're fully confident you can do it, get the extra benefit. You're a businesswoman. Yeah, be a real businesswoman. So unless you're totally afraid that it might restrict you from something that you're attached to, then you don't want to take refuge. No. It's a wrong concept of freedom, because why? Why are you free? Why are you free? And if you take refuge, why are you not free? If you don't kill, why are you not free? If you don't steal, why are you not free? If you don't lie, why are you not free? Why are you not free if you don't do those things? And if you already don't do those things and you take the vows, and every day you collect the merit not to do that, you become even more free. Why? From not killing, stealing, and lying, you obtain beautiful, wonderful results. Results that resemble the cause. In fact, when you take those vows, the whole reason you take those is called liberation vows. Freedom. That's the very reason. I'm not even playing with words with you. I'm telling you the truth. The whole reason we take those vows is to become free. In fact, not taking those vows make us not free. Why? A, if we don't have an issue with it, why are we afraid? B, why is it not taking vows freedom? C, why is engaging in actions that could be negative lead to freedom? Why is it taking vows that help us to guide us in taking virtuous steps be not freedom? Then that means we shouldn't have any laws in the land. No freedom what? We shouldn't have any red traffic lights. No freedom what? Because there are red traffic lights, because there are rules, we have so much freedom. We can walk around and not be robbed every day. We can be sure that if we get robbed, that the person will be caught, that there's consequences. Because there are rules and regulation and the law and a jail, hell, we have freedom. Without laws, we don't have freedom. We have chaos. With the refuge vows, we have full freedom. Why? It helps us and blesses us to go back to our original self, clarity. And by holding the vows every single day, we collect the merits that as time goes on, the vows become easier and easier and easier until it's natural. Until even in future lives, when you're born, you actually act according to the vows. Why do you think people like the Dalai Lama doesn't have freedom? I have pure freedom. I have pure freedom. In fact, I have more freedom than you. I have much more freedom than you. I'll come back as a Rinpoche. What will you come back as? Exactly. When you say like that, you don't have full conviction in reincarnation, but you will. Exactly. You don't have full conviction. Can't see. You don't know. Your perception is so limited. You can't even see and perceive what will happen. Therefore, you think you're free. It's like a frog in a well thinking he's seen everything. Actually, you're not free. You are not free at all. In fact, with the deepest respect for people like you and everybody, I have great fear. Tremendous fear. Fear I don't express. Fear I don't say. You don't have freedom. And this so-called freedom that you have, how many more years? This is how I think. When we take refuge vows, it's not a matter of having freedom or not having freedom. It's a matter of achieving freedom, and that's a method. And when we say freedom, there are different levels of freedom. There's small, medium, large. If we want ultimate large freedom, to go where you want, to do as you like, to have extraordinary powers, to have great compassion, to be loved, to go anywhere and you don't get controlled by your anger and your greed and your jealousy and your miserliness and your fears. If you don't want to get controlled by that, then you take refuge. If you're controlled by your jealousy and your greed and your money and your hatred and all these emotions, you don't have freedom. Far from it. Working and slaving for money is not freedom. It is never freedom. So as long as we have hatred, all of us has some degree of that. All of us. As long as we have jealousy, as long as we have anger, as long as we have miserliness and greed, all these emotions we have. Some is this one more, some is this one, this is some, but we all have some degree of it. We don't have any freedom. Why? Because those emotions make us do actions that create even more negative karma, to do more negative actions that bring negative results. Much more. So by taking vows, it is a direct counter to prison. Example, laws in the land is a direct counter to prison. Laws of land is a direct pointing mark to freedom. Because we have laws, we have freedom. Because we have red lights, we have freedom. We won't get run over if we go across the street. Higher chance we won't get run over. If there's no red lights, we're free. You're free to get run over. Same kind of mentality, same kind of thinking. If you have fear towards the refuge, 12 teeny little vows, which are natural ethical vows, if you're afraid of that, then you are not free. Impossible you are free. Impossible. Why? If you're so free, what's the problem? But because you're not free, you're caught and you're stuck and you're scared, you're definitely not free. Definitely not. So if you say it's a matter of freedom of choice is different than freedom. Freedom of choice is very different than freedom. Freedom of choice is, yes, you want to take it to get benefits. You don't want to take the benefits. It's up to you. But to say it's freedom in itself or not, that's very different. Very, very different. No one in this room is free. No one. We have no control of our destiny. We have no control of our death. We have no control where we're going to be reborn. We have no control of our emotions. We don't even have control of our kids. We don't even have control of our spouse. We don't have control of our body. We don't have control of our aging process. We don't have control of our sickness. We have zero control. And the control will get less and less and less. Zero control. Taking vows doesn't necessarily make you a Buddhist. I agree with that. If you believe in the Buddha, the Dharma, and Sangha, you're a Buddhist. That's fine. Taking the vow doesn't make you a Buddhist or not. Taking the vow is the first path toward liberation. That's why they called it prati moksha. Prati is self, moksha is freedom. Literally freedom. Literally in Sanskrit is freedom. Nirvana or freedom. Actually freedom. So when you say things like that, it's a very good issue. It's very good thinking. Because there are going to be other people in the future thinking like that. But I vehemently disagree with you. Not out of disrespect, but out of not enough knowledge to come to that conclusion. So my job is to give you that knowledge. You are not free. But you have the freedom to become free. Yes, you have the freedom to become free. So if you have Dharma friends who are saying taking refuge, take refuge, take refuge, take refuge, actually you should think like this. From the donations I gave, from the chanting I did, from the prostrations, for the involvement, it is my merit acting up now for me to go to the next step in my spiritual practice. You should think like that. Because if you take refuge, nobody benefits. Nobody gets anything. You don't have to give an ang pao to every person who suggests you take refuge. They get nothing. So if they get nothing, they say that, and it's towards something positive, you automatically have to think in your mind, oh, it's my good karma coming up. For example, when Geshe-la forced me to go get Yamataka, I hated it. I didn't want something so complicated. I fought all the way. I really did. It's a long story. But he made me. Now I think, oh, thank God I did. There are very reasons for that. So what I'm saying is, that time I thought, ugh. Now I think it's a merit. It's a fruitioning of my good karma at that time. Even I didn't want to, my good karma made me do it. So for you, if you have spiritual friends that tell you to take refuge, if you have spiritual friends that tell you that, it's a ripening of your good karma to lead you toward real freedom and a wider freedom. And after you take refuge, why are you not free? Because you can't kill? Because you can't steal? What in the refuge there is going to restrict you? Nothing. So why don't you have freedom? No, I'm not teasing you, really. Why don't you have freedom? I think that you don't understand it very well, so you have fear of it. And I think that if you understand it, you won't have fear because you're smart. Not to go for refuge for teachers who contradict the Buddha or to samsara gods. You're not going to go pray to hantus, are you? Are you? Okay, number 1, no problem already. Number 2, to regard any image of the Buddha as an actual Buddha. So when you see a Buddha image, will you respect it? Or you keep it as a doorstop? You're going to respect, right? Oh, number 2 is okay. Number 3, not to harm others. I don't think you harm others. Maybe your husband when he gets on your nerves, but not really many people, right? Number 4, to regard all Dharma scriptures as an actual Dharma jewel. That means to respect Dharma books. You won't use it as toilet paper, will you? No problem. Number 4, already easy, free, dumb. Okay, number 5, not to allow ourselves to be influenced by people who reject Buddha's teachings. Can you handle that one? Yeah. So if people tell you Buddha's bad, Buddhism's bad, Buddha's bad, Buddhism's bad, are you going to tell them to fly a kite or are you going to say, I agree? Okay. See how strong you are already. Not even fly a kite. Some more can say, shut up. Shut up. The president of a Buddhist Compassion Center. Shut up. Okay. Number 6. To regard anyone who wears the robes as an ordained person as actual Sangha. So when you see people with robes, will you show respect? Or you ask them to give you a massage? No problem. Okay. Number 7. To go for refuge to the 3 jewels again and again, remembering the good quality and difference between them. To go for refuge again and again doesn't mean a ceremony. It means every day when you do your prayers, when you do your sadhana, when you recite the refuge, you think about the good qualities. You're already doing that one. Okay, the next one. To offer the first portion of whatever we eat and drink to the 3 jewels where I remember their kindness. Okay, so you're not a housewife and sit there, everything you cook. Because usually, traditionally, when we're at home, we cook a small portion, we offer to the 3 jewels once a day. So if you're on the run, no problem. When you order something at the restaurant, you make a food offering with your mouth. Mama. I'm sure you can do that once a day. We can translate that into English. I offer to Lama Tsongkhapa, to the 2 spiritual sons, what I'm going to partake, whatever I take, may benefit my body to benefit others. I offer this to you. There you go. You finished. You can do that even with a cup of tea. You fulfilled it. Okay, next one. With compassion, always encourage others to go for refuge. So it looks like the other people went for refuge are fulfilling their refuge vows lah. So what we can do for you is we can do something special. Here, there's no new chickens for you to target for refuge. And they're going to tease the crap out of you. So what you do is this, my dear. We print out refuge cards and llama cards and center cards, and we put you in front of 7-Eleven, 24 Jam. You pass it out and encourage people for refuge lah. Take refuge, take refuge, take refuge. You have freedom lah. Look, I'm free. And just to get you away, they probably will take refuge. Take a look at you. You look like a chicken. Okay, so with compassion, always encourage others to go for refuge. She's so good, I tell you. I told you, she always sets herself to be a victim. Don't know why. She always has this question and look and expression like, get me. Okay, we get you. I'm sure Madeleine sitting there going, oh, brother, I took refuge. I'm fine. Look at me. I'm all right. I'm free. If the guru tells me something I don't want to do, I tell him, shut up. Okay. Number 10. To go for refuge at least 3 times during the day and 3 times during the night, remembering the benefits of going for refuge. If you have refuge, and you're always in refuge, and you believe in the Buddha, it's all right already. You believe in the Buddha. You've given more money to the Buddha than you did your own kids and everybody. You must believe. That's right. That came from our own refuge mouth. That came from the mouth it came out of that mouth that's going to be taking in the refuge. Yeah. To perform every action with complete trust in the 3 jewels. What's wrong with that? What's so hard about that? If I drive, I believe in Buddha. If I drink a cup of coffee, I believe in Buddha. When I get dressed, I believe in Buddha. Why? Why do you have that awareness? In case you die, then that awareness be spontaneous. So when you think about the Buddha at the time of death, it opens up good conditions to take a good rebirth. That's the purpose of that vow. It's very important. Why we're dying, if we've been used to thinking about the 3 jewels, Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, immediately when we think about that, because it's an environmental condition to open up the prayers and the pujas and the donations and help that we've done, it opens up that karma, so it forces us to take a good reincarnation. That's the purpose of that vow. It is not something barbaric. Never to forsake the 3 jewels, even at the cost of our lives, and even as a joke. That's very easy. You already said, shut up. So, what's so hard about that? And then, along with the refuge vows, right? It's very simple. Don't kill. Don't steal. Number 3, no sexual misconduct. No telling lies. No drinking alcohol that clouds the mind. So if you have to drink alcohol, and it's for a purpose, then it's all right. But if you're simply drinking and you're doing harm from that, okay. I mean, there are people who drink alcohol for health. It's okay. You don't have to be so narrow like that. Then, 3 of the body. Don't steal, don't kill, no sexual misconduct. Sexual misconduct, you must know what that means. It doesn't mean you cannot have sex. Of course you can have sex. You can have as much sex as you like. But with your husband, dearie. That's right. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong at all. If you don't have a husband and another person doesn't have a husband and you want to have sex with a lot of people, that's different also. It's full of freedom. Actually, if we are good people, these vows are effortless. Effortless. They're nothing. They're not difficult at all. They're actually quite light. Wait till you see the tantric vows, which you're going to be taking later, I promise you. Even if I have to give it to you to your corpse, take it. That's right. I'll call your conscience back, stick it back there, make you wake up, take the vow, then drop dead. That's right. Okay. What's the problem? The benefits of taking refuge, we become a real Buddhist. We establish a foundation for taking all other vows. We purify negative karma that we have accumulated in the past much faster than if we don't have the vows. We daily accumulate a vast amount of merit. Why? Independence on not doing things, because we've taken the vow not to do it. Then you have the merits. Why? A young child doesn't steal, doesn't kill, but it doesn't mean that he's collecting merits, because he doesn't know to do that. But if you take a vow consciously not to do that, knowing the bad effects of those actions, and you take a vow in front of an enlightened being, such as a Buddha, it has a lot of effect. A lot. It's a lot of effect. It's like a prime minister swearing in on the Quran or a Bible. Whether he swears or not, he's the prime minister. But if he swears in, people have more confidence. But it gives people confidence, and it also gives you some strength. Oh, I did a ceremony. Ceremonies reaffirm something inside. We are held back from falling into the 3 lower realms, and that is on the basis of 11. Basis on vow number 11. So the benefit is we are held back from falling into 3 lower realms based on vow number 11. Number 6, we are protected from harm inflicted by humans and non-humans. People who have real refuge cannot be disturbed by any type of negative forces. No way. That is for sure. And even if they have tremendous karma and that they are disturbed by negative forces, it's very easy to expel them. Very easy to get rid of them. Very, very easy. Why? It's like if you know someone who wants to harm you and you have a backing of a very big minister or the prime minister, you just tell them, hey, don't touch me. I'll call them my minister friend. They run. Okay? We quickly attain to full enlightenment of Buddhahood. Much faster. I don't see anything in here that would make you scared or make you worried or make you lose your freedom. I don't think you're doing anything in any of these vows that contradict how you're already living your life. Except if you take the vows, you have more benefits. And if you have Dharma friends who are encouraging toward it, how I see it is they care, they know the benefits, maybe they know something more than you before today, and what do they get from it? Definitely. So if I was you, I would take the vows. I took it when I was 10, 11. I'm holding it till now. I've never lost any of my freedom. I was jumping around all over LA, all over, everywhere. I never lost any freedom. None of the vows make us lose our freedom, but they have benefits. If I was you, I would take my vows ASAP. Why? The benefits are very great. And that's something taught by the Buddha, so definitely has something beneficial. It's by Lord Buddha. And who are you committing to? The Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. The Buddha, the Dharma, and Sangha. And once you take the vows, you're not entailed to anything except to be the best person that you can with the vows, so that each day that you hold the vows and you fulfill them, the merit from fulfilling those vows come back to you. And if you're already doing that, it's even better. Of course it's better. Yeah, it's very good. None of this is to force you or coerce you. It's to give you understanding. And it benefits other people. It isn't just us watching. There's other people out there watching too. You don't lose any freedom. For you to think you lose freedom, you're not in the minority, I promise you. There are many people who feel when they take vows they lose freedom, they're afraid. Many people. Only because they don't understand. You're not the only one. You don't need to feel embarrassed at all. And for you to fight back and tell people off and say, leave me alone, all that is a good sign. Why? It means that when you promise and you do it, you'll be committed. Yeah, it's very good. It's a very good sign. You wouldn't fight so much about it. And if you didn't treasure the vows and you didn't respect them, you wouldn't be so upset when people force you. Why? Because if you didn't think much, whatever lah. But because you do respect it, you do know there's value, then you're very sensitive about it. Definitely you respect it. Definitely. You come from a background and a generation of people that don't question Dharma. That if a rogue person or is religious, you just believe. You may not understand it, you just believe. And what you don't like, you don't comment, you don't keep quiet. You don't say anything. You come from that kind of background. This is very nice. But now we're different. We can talk about it. You should take refuge. I never tell people that directly. In this year, I told 2 people to take refuge. One person already came the other day and made offerings and requested. And you're the second person I told. I don't tell that easy. If you want refuge, I'll be very happy to offer you the refuge vows. Very, very happy. Yes, you should take it. Whether you take the refuge vows from me or not, I think you've already thought of me as your guru. There's no difference in that relationship. No difference at all. So you get the benefits. Thank you very much. I work very hard towards your direction, and when you say that, at least it's someone sensible that I'm teaching Dharma to. Yeah. I don't feel an ego trip, but I feel, finally one result. Yeah. She's pretty bitchy, isn't she? But at least she's straightforward. I appreciate that. And then this question, and we talking about it, it benefits people. It's a little late, but you don't have to see me tomorrow, next day at all. Henry's like, thank God. When? "12 teeny little vows." How auspicious on Tsongkhapa Day. Wow. Well, I didn't even think about that. And when people take vows, seriously speaking, never make jokes, never make fun, and never make it a joke. Why? It is from Lord Buddha, and Dharma is very, very beneficial. Even one little vow is very beneficial. And the fact that she's opened a can of worms and talked like that is very beneficial for all of us. Very. She has these doubts. She expressed it. She says, I lose my freedom. She said this. She's brave enough to say that because other people who think that, they dare not say that. I'm not kidding. I'm not even complimenting her because I've heard this before. People say, I'm not going to take vows. I lose my freedom. I've heard that. And there are people who don't want to be monks because they feel they lose their freedom. And that's a big fear in people who don't have mass Buddhist consciousness. Actually, you don't lose your freedom. That's right. I don't give refuge vows out easy. I don't want to make a link with anybody easy. That's right. They may think they don't want to take vows. What makes you think I want to give it? Do you think you want to be tied to some fruitcake nut that looks like a chicken for the rest of eternity? Every life after teach them Dharma? Thank you very much. I've got things to do in samsara. Of course JP is not going to take the vows. Of course not. Of course not. It will be a while before he does it, but I won't tell you why. That's right. And exactly like in our teachings, when people take it without understanding it, they didn't take refuge. Nothing happened. They should actually take it again. Exactly. That's exactly what I read. That's exactly what I taught these last few days. In fact, people who take refuge vows without knowing it, without having the right attitude, they didn't take refuge. They didn't take any vows. It's just words. If sitting in a refuge ceremony means you took vows without having any conscious understanding of it, that means small kids sitting there, infants who sit there, took the vows. Not possible. That's why I explain what it is. I give you the visualization. I take the time to tell you about the benefits so that you understand. Exactly. She's exactly right. It's not a ceremony or procedure. Yes, Angel? Yes, but you have broken the vow since you didn't know it, and if you have broken it, you should purify it. And you can purify by purification methods, or you can retake them. Yeah, very good question. If we don't have any gurus around who can give us refuge, we take it with a statue. If we can take it with a guru, it will be much better because they have a lineage to pass. They have an oral transmission to pass. And they can give us teachings and explanations on the value of refuge. In such cases, the Indian mentor Shantideva explained in engaging in a bodhisattva's deeds. Sincere disciples may also take bodhisattva vows in the presence of Buddha statues or paintings. If none are available, they may even take them before Buddhas and bodhisattvas visualize as present. So if we take refuge in front of a Buddha or a bodhisattva because there's no gurus around, we have no choice. We're dying to hold our vows. Then it's permissible. It is permissible. Then after that, we call ourselves a Buddhist. And if there are gurus and masters around and we don't see any that we gain faith in or gain confidence in, and then we take refuge in a Buddha statue, it's still all right. What to do? And if we have fear that by taking refuge with a guru, we lose our freedom, we have to practice guru devotion, or they might make us do things that we wouldn't do if they weren't our guru, but if they're our guru, we have to do, we have fear of that, and we take refuge, then it's not really a good refuge. Why? We didn't take refuge. We didn't surrender. We're still holding on. We're still trying to bargain. You understand? And by taking refuge in front of a Buddha statue, does it create causes to have a teacher in the future? Not necessarily. After we take refuge and we don't hold our vows and we don't practice and we don't transform ourselves and we don't make fervent prayers to meet a Lama, then we won't. We have to create the cause. But taking refuge and holding our vows and having faith and confidence and praying to the Buddhas to turn the wheel of Dharma, that I may learn the Dharma, by praying to turn the wheel of Dharma and may I learn the Dharma, then we will create the causes of getting a Dharma teacher. Just like in the Guru Yoga Lama Tsongkhapa, when we ask him to rain down a vast rain of shunyata and great compassion. What is that? Rain down shunyata and compassion, intangible attainments? No. It means to turn the wheel on that so that we can study it and gain those attainments. In initiation, before taking tantric vows, you have to take bodhisattva vows. Before taking bodhisattva vows, you have to take refuge vows. So during initiation, refuge is automatically included. No, it's automatically included, which means you have taken it. Okay? So if you've never taken refuge and you have met a Lama, you have total faith and you know you can really do the practice. Never mind taking refuge vows. If you take tantric vows, it's much, much more. If you can hold that, refuge vows is very simple. But since refuge vows is the foundation for all other vows to be relied upon or taken upon, then during tantric initiation, it is part of it given together. First, you will take your refuge and bodhisattva vows, and it goes like this. You have to recite that 3 times during initiation, prior to tantric vows. When you recite that 3 times in the presence of your Lama and the meditational deity, you have taken refuge. And together with refuge, you have taken your bodhisattva vows, the 18 root vows and the 46 auxiliary. On top of that, after you have taken that, then immediately you will take the tantric vows. So in a tantric initiation, if you have taken a tantric initiation, refuge is automatically included. It's not a jump queue, it's inclusive. Why is it inclusive? Other vows are dependent on the foundation of refuge vows. Okay? To take ordination, we must have renunciation and refuge. It's not necessary to have bodhicitta or Mahayana motivation. It's not necessary. So, if we have bodhicitta or we have Mahayana motivation to take ordination vows, it's even better. But it's not a requirement. But to take tantric initiation, to have bodhicitta or Mahayana motivation is a requirement. So tantric vows are higher than ordination vows. Much higher. That's why I say holding vows and taking vows is from compassion. Is from compassion. Practicing Dharma is from compassion. The real reason is from compassion.